At the beginning of the college basketball season, most people claimed there was a runaway favorite for the top pick of the NBA draft. Cooper Flagg looked like a star already ready for the league, even after just turning 18 in December. But lately, there's been another freshman looking to capture the throne and take down number one. Dylan Harper is a jumbo-sized guard putting up some wild numbers at Rutgers. Do you think he can pull it off? Because when you watch Cooper Flagg, there's not a whole lot of glaring weaknesses. At 6'9" and 205 pounds, the kid from Maine has made a name for himself as a defensive-minded Swiss Army knife. His 7-foot wingspan makes him a defensive terror in passing lanes and around the rim, while his lighter frame keeps his feet quick around the perimeter. Cooper's averaging 1.7 steals and 1.2 blocks at Duke and has put together multiple games of defensive brilliance. Cooper isn't just putting up numbers, he's building his own legend. 17 points, 8 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists per game. It's like he cashed in every bit of VC in 2K to level up from Swiss Army knife to Swiss Army machine gun. And he's leading the Blue Devils in every major category except steals. Even there, he's just 0.1 steals away from taking the crown. Cooper isn't playing basketball, he's dominating it with precision, versatility, and a touch of video game cheat code energy. And with all of that, we're really talking about someone who's got scouts actually thinking about picking him over Cooper Flagg? Enter Dylan Harper. Once you see Dylan Harper finish around the rim for the 100th time in a row, you'd start to take pause too. Rutgers star freshman guard has made a name for himself as a beefy 6'6", 215-pound ball handler who can drive to the rim with absurd efficiency. He's currently averaging 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. At the end of November, Harper was taking over half of his shots at the rim and finishing 71% of them. You might try to jump to the data getting skewed by an emphasis on backdoor cuts or alley-oops, but that's not the case. 3/4 of those at-rim attempts are all self-generated. This guy is rivaling collegiate James Harden and SGA in rim efficiency. Harper makes it all look easy because he's got the perfect combo of size and next-level footwork. The dude's like a chess master in the post. He knows exactly when to hit the gas and when to ease up. Switch hands? No problem. Spin around a defender? Piece of cake. Harper doesn't just play basketball, he's out there running a masterclass on how to keep defenders guessing every single possession. As the Ringer's J. Kyle Mann highlights, 61 shots at the rim in just 11 games and hit 80% of them, all without committing a single charge. Once this guy steps inside the paint, it's rare you catch him making a mistake. Step outside the paint and things can get a little shaky for Harper. Sure, his three-point shot has been on the rise lately, props for that, but it's not quite on par with his at-rim dominance. His touch around the basket is elite, but as you move further out to mid-range and beyond, it's a little more hit or miss. Still, you can see the progress, and with the way this guy works, you know it's only a matter of time before he adds sniper to his resume. He's shooting 75% from the free throw line, which can be respectable in some eyes, but to be the #1 overall guard, you'd want that higher. And he might not be leading his team in every category like Cooper, but in a recent matchup against 11-1 Columbia, he posted 16 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and 3 steals. Sounds like a stat line that you would expect more from Cooper than you would Harper. Although Dylan's scoring is certainly the most alluring part of his game on the court, this triple-double emphasizes something broader of why some people give Harper the edge over Cooper. The it factor. The ability to completely take over a game by yourself. Critics of Flagg say he can excel in a lot of different roles, but he might not be the guy you want operating as #1. You'd rather have the high-efficiency rim finisher who shoots 38% from 3 and can drop 12 dimes, instead of the guy shooting 27% from 3 and is more hesitant in creating his own shot. Cooper's best game so far has probably been against Auburn earlier in the season. He finished with 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 3 steals, which is impressive as well. Let's turn it over to former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas to highlight what the doubters are saying. He's my second or third option. If I'm telling him to be the next type of GOAT guy that we're going to feed our offense through, I can't see it right now. If you put him on a great team, he's your perfect player because he does everything. As for NBA player comparisons, Gilbert possibly hit the nail on the head. You put him in, you fit him in, and he'll figure it out. He could be a Draymond Green type, Draymond Green with a better offensive skill. Flagg is on a very talented Duke team that requires him to operate in the system, and he's excelling in that, no question. But if the system breaks down, can he be the one to bail the team out with a bucket? Advanced Stats have Flagg's player efficiency rating at 24.9 and Harper's at 27.9. Both elite ratings, but Dylan beats out the #1 overall prospect. Another former NBA player who talked about the same idea is Jeff Teague. On his podcast, he compared Cooper to former All-Star Andrei Kirilenko. AK-47 was an All-Star. He could do a lot of things on the basketball court. He was a utility guy who could pretty much do everything. In his prime, Kirilenko averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Absolutely stuffed the stat sheet. You put that kind of player on any competitive team and he's immediately every coach's favorite player. Some have said Gill and Teague are downplaying Flagg's abilities and trying to discredit him, but let's be real. How much are they really knocking him when they're comparing him to a future Hall of Famer or a former All-Star? I mean, those are still elite comps. That said, both of those guys also racked up multiple all-defensive team honors, which feels realistic for Cooper down the line. Harper? Maybe not. Defense is where Cooper's already shining, and it's another area where he's separating himself from the pack. Dylan might have a 6'10" wingspan, but he doesn't use it as effectively as you'd hope in passing lanes or giving other guards trouble. He's not bad by any means, but with a defensive win share of 0.6, Cooper certainly has the edge at 1.4. At the end of the day, this might all boil down to one big question. Who's getting the first overall pick? Right now, it's a tight race. We've got New Orleans and Washington battling it out for the best odds, with Charlotte and Utah tied up right behind them. If the Pelicans land it and still have Zion and Ingram, they're taking Harper, no question. It seems inevitable that the franchise will implode with this core soon, but keeping it and then adding a scorer like Harper could give this team an entirely new look. A Murray, Harper, Jones trio around the perimeter is a ton of length. The more likely situation is they've unloaded their key figures and look to start fresh. And if that's the case, they take Cooper and play big. Their core suddenly becomes defensive-minded Flagg and Herb Jones with knockdown shooters Trey Murphy and Jordan Hawkins. If Cooper's to prove guys like Arenas and Teague wrong, letting him run at point forward his rookie season and learn trial by fire could be exactly what he needs. If the Wizards win the pick, then we all owe our condolences to one of these star prospects. Jokes aside, Washington has actually started to cobble together somewhat of an interesting young group of guys. Coulibaly, Bub Carrington, Keyshawn George, and whatever Alex Sarr ends up becoming sounds like a promising young core to me. Unless the front office is super high on Carrington, I think they'd take Harper at this moment over Flagg. They already have their defensive identity with Bilal and Sarr, but Dylan can give them reliable scoring and a steady hand when the team needs offense. The next team is a no-brainer. The Hornets aren't going to pick a guy that would take the ball out of LaMelo's hand too much. So they go Cooper Flagg, no question. If Brandon Miller continues the trajectory he's currently on, he and LaMelo can be the dynamic offensive duo, while Cooper fills in the gaps on both sides as the elite third option. Tied with the Hornets in the draft odds is Utah, and let's be real, the Jazz have been guard-heavy in recent drafts, picking guys like Isaiah Collier, Keontae George, and Cody Williams. So you've got to think Danny Ainge might be looking to go bigger this time around, so Cooper's the clear choice. Plus, let's face it, I don't see them hanging on to John Collins long-term. That clears the way for Coop to step right in and start alongside Lauri Markkanen, forming a front court that could dominate for years. Personally, I'd like to see Dylan Harper go to the Raptors the most. A backcourt of him and Grady Dick would be really fun on offense with their inside-outside counters, and Emmanuel Quickley is best suited for the sixth-man role. And then the most fun landing spot for Flagg would probably have to be Charlotte. That trio could really start to pop in another couple of years. But what do you guys think? Where would you like to see these two go, and do you think Dylan Harper can actually dethrone Flagg for #1 overall? The top three seems set with them and Ace Bailey, but Bailey's shot making can only carry so far and has basically locked him into a third-place finish. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.